Hey Stepsters! I'm Lasya. And I'm Kritika, and we're your trainers from Future Step. Today we'll be learning about place values for grades 1 to 4. Woohoo! Okay, let's get started. Yeah, we'll start with like a normal number from 1 to 9, right? A random number, let's go for 8. 8 here would be called the ones are the units place. So it's called ones are the unit place value. And then what if we add a 2 in front of it, right? Now it's a 28, so the 2 is going to be in the 10th place. We can add another number now. Let's know 5. It would be 528, and the 5 is in the hundreds place. And then if we add a 7 to it, it's going to be in the thousands place. That's why we say 7,528. Okay? And if we add something else in, like, say, for example, can that be 10,000 place? And then if we add something else in front of it, like a 5, that would be 100,000 place. And in front of it, if we add another number, right? Like 1, for example, now this is called the millions place. Yeah. So I'm sure you're like, oh my god, this is so confusing. Like, how do we defer them kind of thing? This is where you use a trick, like a secret trick, right? So that's how you group these numbers into 3 sets. Like a set contains 3 numbers. So for example, in here, 5 to 8 is one set. So put a comma before that to make them a set, right? And then 5, 8, 7 is a set, so put a comma before them. And then you see here that after these two, like this set, it goes into the thousands. This is thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, right? And here, everything it goes to the millions. So it'd be millions, 10 millions, and 100 millions. Yeah. For example, if we had that, this would be your 10 million. This would be your 100 million. And then again, you add a comma because remember it's a set of 3. And then you have another digit, for example, a 5. And now this is a new place, which is called the billion. And then you still, let's add more numbers to it, right? For example, 6 and 7, this would be 10 billion place. And then this would be 100 billion. And so on, right? It goes on until infinity. And then for like extra information, after billion, it's a trillion, a quadrillion, and so on. Yes. And now we're gonna talk about decimal point, right? Though this is not gonna show up that often, knowing how to differentiate between the place values in decimals is also pretty important. So a decimal point is basically a point, a dot, right? Anything to the right of this dot goes by df, and anything to the left of this goes by dthf. Now, what do I mean by that is, let's get some examples in. So we know, let's go by 1, 2, so 21, right? If it is to the left side of the decimal point, it is a whole number, okay? And as we learned here, this is the one that the units place, and so the tenths place. And then there's a hundredth place. What I mean by df is every time you write one of these, you're gonna say hundreds, df, and then thousands, ds, and so on. But then on the other side, if I have, let's say, 3, 4, 8, right? Every time you read this, so now this is going to be in the 10th place, And notice how tens is the same in both this and that. So don't confuse yourself on that. But then if we look at this place, it's going to be the hundredths place, which will be spelled with a DTHS. And that's how you would spell it if you're writing it out into decimals. Yeah, and just remember that tens will always be the same, even if it's on the right or the left side. Yes, and one more thing is whenever you're reading this, a lot of you would tend to read it as 7,521.343. And that is not a right way of reading decimals. In decimals, you read them the first, like onto your left side, 7,521. It's like pronounced as usual, like how you would pronounce this number, right? But like after the point, the numbers after the point, you say them like how they are. So it'd be 7,521.348. So it's just like whole numbers. Just read them out how they are. Yes. So instead of making a mistake and don't think of this as 300, think of it as a singular value, like 3, 4, and 8. So that is all we have for you today. We will hope to see you in our next video. Goodbye. Bye, Dexters.